Hi there. I didn't notice you. I was reading Daniel Craig's famous book, Watchmaking. I was learning how to bond enamel to the dial of a watch. But that's neither here nor there. Welcome to episode 3 of Watch Out, presented by Seaquartz Watch Company. As usual, I'm your host, Stevie Hugh, and we'll do a wrist check to start out with. I can't get this off the wrist. I'm again wearing my Speedy Professional 3861 caliber. I've got it in the Hesalite version. I love this thing. It wears so smooth. It's great to hand wind. It makes me feel like I'm getting connection with my watch. I may end up wearing this one for a while. Again, I've got it on NATO, same blue. I usually will go with the same NATO for a week or so before I'll wash it out. Let's get right into our watch review today. We've got a special treat in today. I picked this one up last week directly from Steve Laughlin. Steve Laughlin is the owner of Raven Watches there in Kansas City. I went to Intersect in Dallas for a nice little watch review. They had it at the Jack Mason store, and Steve was kind enough to bring this one. I pre-ordered it so that I could get it at the show, and this thing is a stunner. I got the blue on blue. This is reminiscent of the famous Submariner from Rolex called the Bluesy. Some people call it the Bluesy, but it's a Submariner with a two-toned look. Two-toned means you have gold and silver, but not all of one or the other. And they call it the Bluesy because the dial and the bezel were blue. This one, like the one we saw last week, the Pelagos homage, which from Ixtao, it also has very bright blue lume, which is awesome. I love blue lume. I think it looks cooler than the old radium green looking lume. But it doesn't usually last as long. It's very long lasting on this Raven. Let's look at some specs on this guy. One thing about this guy is a unidirectional. It's got the 15 hash marker, so it's got the countdown diver's bezel, unlike a mission bezel, which will usually be fully graduated, but that'll let you know how much time you got underwater. You can't go backwards when you dive. This one has the date right there at 6 o'clock. It keeps the symmetry on the dial, which I love. This one has gold indices, gold surrounding all the indices on the dial. It's got gold on the bezel. The bezel insert is fully lumed. It's wonderful. I love that. It's got a helium escape valve in case you do any saturation diving, which is just a great feature at this. You can get these for under $600 right now. And I've shown you this before on a couple of other Instagram videos, but I don't know if you can see that. You can they're very quick release, so you can just take these right off. Just like that. You can just take these right off. No need for a tool. And you can just put them right back in. There we go. Yeah, just like that. You can take these in and out, which are really cool. It's also got an instant use bracelet. You can just make it bigger or smaller just by pressing down. These clasps are made by a company called Note X, which is related to the Notice Watch Company. This one in particular tapers from a 22 millimeter lug width, all the way down to an 18 millimeter clasp, which is a great reduction in size. It wears beautifully. I wear this thing at night, and it's comfortable on my wrist, which I usually don't wear bracelets. As you know, I prefer NATOs. Even though this has a 42 millimeter dial diameter, which is pretty large, somehow he's managed to keep the case length, or the height as it's called, the lug-to-lug height, down to 47 millimeters. This can basically be worn by most people with an average size wrist. Finally, one thing that Steve does that's great is he went ahead and milled out these lugs. They're fully pierced. I love it. It has a flat sapphire bezel. Inside of this thing is a high beat Miyota 9000 level movement. And Steve, I think, probably regulated them. The crown action is fantastic on this thing. I can't speak highly enough about it. Steve was a great guy to meet with. I ended up buying a knife from, I think it's a knife company he owns called Fitch as well. Maybe it's Finch. Correct me if I'm wrong. Someone let me know in the comments. Anyway, I love this thing. And I guess I should give it a rating. I'm being told that I should give it a rating. You know, Steve only made 15 of them in this bluesy configuration. He has other ones. He has a full DLC version. He has, I don't know what else there is. There's a yellow one because everyone likes yellow. The dials he does, those matte dials for the Ravens. I think he only has a couple of this version left. He's not going to make any more of these. I'm going to give it a 5. I'm going to give this a full 5, which means this is, at least in my mind, a lifer for me. This is not going anywhere. This is going to be my dad watch pretty much forever. When I go on vacation, you can do anything in it. It's a high beat. I can dive in it. Nothing's going to get to this thing. And I've had Raven with the gold plate before, and I beat it up pretty good, and the gold plate didn't come off, which I don't know what he's doing with that. It's probably some type of, I don't know how he's putting that stuff on, but it's great. Yeah, so this is a 5. I'd like to remind you to follow me and like me, maybe comment, share me with your friends. When we get up to 1,000 followers, we're going to do a giveaway. So I think we're at about 100 now. Let's see if we can get to 1,000 followers. We'll do a giveaway. In fact, I'll do a giveaway of my own watch. I have a few of these left. This is the original Sequartz 300 that we did. We called these the Chronoports. It was an homage to the very original Magnum PI watch. Thank you for watching. And if you see me on Instagram, follow me, you idiots.